deep in the constellation of Serpens, some 7,000 light years from the ground where you stand, there is a scar in the night sky. To the naked eye, it is nothing but a smear of darkness, a gap in the glittering tapestry of the Milky Way. But if we could travel there, if we could shed the limitations of our biology and drift as spirits across the interstellar gulf, we would find that this darkness is not empty. It is heavy. It is rich. It is the color of bruised velvet and deep ocean water. We have arrived at the Eagle Nebula, and rising before us, like the ruins of a temple built by giants, stand the pillars of creation. Let us float here for a moment, suspended in the medium of the cosmos. These are not solid stone, though they look as enduring as the cliffs of a canyon. They are towers of cool, molecular hydrogen gas and cosmic dust, standing 4 light years tall. To understand that scale, imagine our entire solar system, the Sun, the Earth, Pluto, and everything in between. You could fit our solar system inside the width of one of these pillars and lose it completely. It would be a speck of sand in a desert dune. These structures are so vast that light itself takes years to travel from their base to their crown. Visually, they are a masterpiece of erosion. Look at the edges. They are glowing with a halo of ethereal light. This is not the pillars shining from within, but rather they are being burned from the outside. Above these towers, hidden from our current view, hangs a cluster of massive newborn stars. These are young, hot, blue-white giants, burning with a ferocity that is difficult to comprehend. They unleash a torrent of ultraviolet radiation, a stellar wind that screams across the vacuum at speeds of 1,000,000 miles per HR. When this ultraviolet flood hits the top of the pillars, it boils the gas away. This process is called photoevaporation. The pillars are being slowly destroyed, carved away by the very starlight they helped create. It is a violent interaction, a cosmic sandblasting. Yet the result is a sculpture of breathtaking beauty. The gas streams away from the peaks like mist rolling off a mountain range at dawn, creating wisps and streamers that trail into the void. But let us move closer. Let us pass through the wall of mist and enter the interior of the pillar. The moment we cross the boundary, the light changes. The harsh glare of the outside stars is filtered out. The temperature drops. Outside, the gas is ionized and hot. Inside, it is incredibly cold, only a few degrees above absolute zero. It is dark here, a dusty, silent womb shielded from the chaos of the galaxy. The dust here is thick, composed of silicates and carbon, the same soot you might find in a fireplace, but drifting in a cloud so tenuous that it is technically a vacuum by Earth standards. Yet, over light years, this tenuous smoke becomes opaque, a curtain drawn against the universe. In this darkness, something miraculous is happening. Gravity is the gardener here. In the quiet, cold density of the nebula, clumps of gas begin to stick together. A random fluctuation, a ripple from a passing shockwave, causes a pocket of dust to become slightly denser than its surroundings. Gravity takes hold. It pulls more dust in. The clump grows heavier, its gravitational pull stronger. It begins to spin slowly at first, then faster like a figure skater pulling in her arms. As the material collapses inward, it begins to heat up. The potential energy of falling dust is converted into thermal energy. Deep inside these dark knots, a heart is beginning to beat. We are witnessing the formation of a protostar. There is a profound lesson in this darkness. We often equate chaos with destruction and darkness with emptiness, but in the cosmos, the opposite is often true. A clear, empty space creates nothing. It is the mess, the cloud, the obstruction that holds the potential for life. The stars that light up our night sky, the sun that warms your face, they all began in a place like this, in a chaotic, dusty, turbulent swirl of confusion. Order does not spring from clarity. It is forged in the center of the storm. Look closely at the surface of the pillars again. Do you see the small finger, like protrusions extending from the main columns? Astronomers call these eggs, evaporating gaseous globules. It is a whimsical name for something profound. Each of these globules is a cocoon. Inside each one, a solar system is fighting to be born. The radiation from the outside is stripping away the outer layers of gas, racing against time. If the shell is stripped away too quickly, the star inside will be cut off from its food supply and will be born small and dim. If the shell holds, the star will grow large and bright. It is the delicate balance between destruction and creation. The very forces that are trying to tear the nursery apart are also compressing the gas, forcing the birth of new stars. The wind that erodes the pillar also shapes the future. Imagine hovering next to one of these eggs. You cannot see the star yet. It is shrouded in a thick disk of accretion, a spinning pancake of matter that feeds the infant sun. In this disk, dust grains are colliding. They are sticking together to form pebbles, then boulders, then planetesimals. This is the blueprint of a world. Somewhere in that spinning grit, the iron that will one day course through the blood of a living creature is being gathered. The silicon that will form the rocks of a mountain range is being compressed. The water that will fill an ocean is currently locked as ice on the surface of dust grains. It is a chaotic environment. Rocks are smashing into rocks. Magnetic fields are twisting and snapping. Jets of superheated gas are shooting out from the poles of the young star, piercing the gloom of the nebula like searchlights. It is noisy in terms of electromagnetic radiation, crackling with radio waves and infrared heat. But from a distance it looks like a painting. It looks like serenity. This is the paradox of the garden. The seed, the process of growth, is violent. The shell must break. The roots must force their way through the soil. The sprout must push against the weight of the earth to find the light. But to the observer, it is simply a blooming. The pillars of creation are a testament to the fact that struggle is the prerequisite for existence. The universe does not build smoothly, it builds through collision and collapse. As we drift further down the column, we see the future. The stars that have already been born are slowly drifting away from their birthplace. They are shaking off the remnants of the nebula. They will travel out into the galaxy, perhaps to form their own planetary systems, perhaps to host their own observers. The nebula itself is temporary. In a few million years, a blink of an eye in cosmic time, these pillars will be gone. The intense radiation will have evaporated them completely. The nursery will disappear, leaving behind only the children it raised. There is a bittersweet beauty in that. The structure exists only to give itself away. It gathers the materials of the universe, shelters them, compresses them into something new, and then fades into the background. It is the ultimate act of generosity. In our own lives, we often fear the periods of confusion. We fear the times when things seem foggy, when our path isn't clear, when we feel surrounded by the dust of uncertainty. We want the clarity of the vacuum. We want the sharp light of the finished star. But we must remember the lesson of the nebula. The clarity comes later. The creation happens in the fog. If you feel like you are in a dark place, if you feel the pressure of the world pushing in on you, consider that you might just be in the accretion phase. You are in the nebula. The pressure is not there to crush you. It is there to ignite you. But confusion is not a sign of failure. It is the raw material of your next form. Drifting back out of the pillar now, we return to the open space. We look back at the towering structures. Seen from the outside, they glow with the colors of their elements. Oxygen burns blue. Sulfur burns red. Hydrogen and nitrogen glow in shades of green and orange. It is a cathedral of light standing tall against the darkness. It reminds us that the universe is not a static, dead machine. It is a living, breathing entity. It recycles. It evolves. It takes the ashes of the old and spins them into the gold of the new. We are not merely inhabitants of this space. We are the result of this process. The atoms in your body once floated in a cloud just like this one, waiting for gravity to do its work. The silence here is not the silence of the grave. It is the silence of a library or a forest at dawn. It is a silence that is pregnant with possibility. It is the hush of anticipation. As we move away, the pillars shrink in our vision, returning to the size of a smudge on the lens of a telescope, but we know what is happening inside. We know that in that dark, cold mist, the lights of the future are being turned on, one by one. The universe is vast, and much of it is cold and empty. But here, in the gardens of the galaxy, life is winning. Gravity is winning. The drive to exist is stronger than the entropy that seeks to scatter. So take this image with you. A tower of dust, 3 light years high, being battered by the wind, yet holding inside it the warm, glowing seeds of 1,000 suns. It stands as a promise that even in the deepest void, even in the coldest shadow, the potential for light is never truly gone. It is just waiting for the right amount of pressure, the right amount of time, and the gentle, relentless pull of gravity to wake it up. The galaxy is blooming, and so are you.